Hello everyone, my name is Shivani. I'm a Canadian licensed immigration consultant and I'm also the founder of Zest Immigration Services Incorporation. We have proudly launched this initiative to offer free French language lessons to help on your Canadian immigration journey right here on this very YouTube channel. As you may know, French is becoming a key factor in Canadian immigration, and many programs now provide easier or faster pathways if you have strong French skills. Whether you're aiming for a Canadian work permit, direct permanent residency from within Canada or your home country to Canada, or looking to boost your CRS or PNP scores, French can open many doors. That's why we are committed to providing full French training from level A1 to C2, from beginner to advanced level, completely free of charge on this platform, on this very YouTube channel. We will be uploading videos regularly, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned and watch each lesson to get most benefit from this opportunity. This entire series is our way of supporting you on your immigration path, and your support means the world to us in return. Thank you, and let's learn French together for a brighter future in Canada. Keep watching this video to continue with your French lesson. All the very best for this lesson and many more to come.
Hi, today we are going to learn how to introduce ourselves in French, use formal and informal greetings, ask and answer, "How are you?" Use polite expressions, say where you live, count from 1 to 10, and practice with simple exercises. So to start, I'm going to give you guys a sample introduction. So this is a way that you would introduce yourself to strangers, to family members, to anybody in French, and then I will repeat it in English. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Stéphanie. Je suis canadienne. Je parle le français et l'anglais. J'habite en Ontario, au Canada. Comment ça va? So in English, we would say, "Hello, my name is Stephanie. I am Canadian. I speak French and English. I live in Ontario, Canada. How are you?" We are also going to learn certain greetings. So it doesn't mean that you're going to introduce yourself. It's either a passerby, a friend, a family member. On a daily basis, you will be using these greetings. So the first greeting is bonjour. Bonjour means hello. It is a formal way of greeting someone. You can also say bon matin for good morning. An informal way of greeting someone is salut for hi or bye. A formal way of saying goodbye would be au revoir. So au revoir would mean goodbye. If you're trying to tell someone to have a nice day, in French, you would say bonne journée. So bonne journée means have a good day. If you want to say good evening, the proper way to say it in French is bonsoir. So good evening, bonsoir. If you're trying to say good night, you say bonne nuit. Now, when you're introducing yourself, there are different ways to follow a greeting when you're introducing yourself, whether it's formal, informal, and oftentimes it's a preference of the person introducing his or herself. In English, we could say, "My name is Stephanie." In French, we say, "Je m'appelle Stéphanie. So my name is Stephanie. Je m'appelle Stéphanie. We can also say, I am Stephanie. In French, we would say, je suis Stéphanie. So I am Stephanie. Je suis Stéphanie. In English, when we would like to answer the question, what is your name? Or we would like to tell someone our name, we say, my name is Stephanie. In French, we say, mon nom est Stéphanie. So mon nom est Stéphanie. My name is Stephanie. That comes to our next part of introducing yourself. So in introducing yourself, you're going to ask the question or be asked the question, what's your name? So in English, there is only one way to say what's your name, and that's what's your name. It's formal and informal at the same time. But in French, when we want to speak in a formal manner, we often replace your with vous. So if we want to say what's your name in a formal way, we would say comment vous vous appelez. Yes, you heard that word twice. So comment vous vous appelez. That is asking what's your name. You can also say comment tu t'appelles or comment t'appelles-tu, which would mean what's your name in an informal way. So when we're speaking in a formal manner, we use vous. When we're speaking in an informal manner, we say tu. What is the difference between tu and vous? Well, I just explained it. Tu is informal, vous is formal. But we often use tu with our family, our friends, children, people that we have a close relationship with, unless they are elders. So in the French language, when you're speaking to elders, you have to use vous. Otherwise, it is a sign of disrespect, whether they're strangers or not. You also use vous with strangers, groups of people, coworkers. In a professional setting, you would always use vous. Now we're going to learn how to ask, how are you? There are a variety of different ways to ask, how are you? And to answer, how are you, in French and in English. So in English, if we say, how are you? It's comment ça va? Or comment allez-vous? If you want to speak in a formal, professional manner. If you are just in a casual way, like in English, you would say, you good? Like, you okay? Going good? We would say, ça va. So, ça va would mean you good with family, friends, people that you're very familiar with. In a formal way would be comment allez-vous? So how are you? Formal, professional manner, comment allez-vous? And now when you're answering, how are you? You're going to answer in two different ways, formal and informal. So if you're good and you want to say, I'm fine, thanks, and you? In an informal way, you would say, oui, ça va, merci, et toi? Donc, oui, ça va, I'm fine, yes, I'm fine, merci, thanks, and you, et toi? So, I'm fine, thanks, and you is oui, ça va, merci, et toi? Now, if you're using it in a formal setting, you're going to say, I'm fine, thanks, and you? But in a formal setting, you're going to say, oui, ça va, merci, et vous? So we're simply replacing tu with vous in a formal setting. Now, if you're not doing well, And you want to say, no, I'm not doing well. In French, we say, non, ça va mal. So, no, I'm not doing well. Ça va mal. Now, if you're trying to say where you live, if you're trying to say where you live in English, you simply ask, where do you live? In French, we're going to follow the same pattern that we've been following, which is when you're speaking in an informal way, you're going to use tu, and when you're speaking in a formal way, you're going to use vous. So when I want to ask, where do you live? In an informal way, I'm going to say, où habites-tu? So, où habites-tu? Where do you live? If I want to say it in a formal way, I'm going to say, où habitez-vous? So, where do you live in a formal way is où habitez-vous? If you want to answer the question, where do you live? And you live in Toronto. In English, you would say, I live in Toronto. In French, you would say, j'habite à Toronto. Now, there are certain cities that aren't necessarily translated this well. In French, some cities have more of an English name that you can't translate it, then you would just say the city in English. But the j'habite à stays the same. So j'habite à Toronto. I live in Toronto. J'habite en Ontario. So I live in Ontario. J'habite en Ontario. I live in Canada becomes j'habite au Canada. Now, if you've noticed, we've used 3 different words after j'habite to describe where we live. We used à, en, and au. So we use à when we're speaking about cities. J'habite à Toronto. J'habite à Edmonton. J'habite à Timmins. Those are all cities. We use à. We use en for feminine countries or those starting with a vowel. So j'habite en Ontario. Ontario starts with a vowel. We use en. J'habite en France. France is a feminine country. We use en. We use o without an X. So we use o for masculine countries. So j'habite au Canada. J'habite au Mexique. And then we use o with an X for plural countries. So o with an X is for plural. Now, the 6th part of introducing yourself, which is your languages and your nationality. Okay, so when you guys heard me say I speak French and English, so I speak French and English. In French becomes je parle français et anglais. So I speak, je parle. If you're asking someone what language they speak, do you speak French or do you speak English? We would say for informal, parles-tu le français ou parles-tu l'anglais? So parles-tu is do you speak informally. Now, as we've seen, to make it formal, we simply replace tu with vous. Now we're going to learn further along why the ending of the verbs change with different pronouns. And if you guys need extra help with that, there are ways to receive extra help. So when we're talking about vous, do you speak English in a formal manner? So we use vous. It becomes parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous l'anglais? So informal, parles-tu le français? Do you speak French? In a formal manner, parlez-vous l'anglais? Do you speak English? Now, if you're trying to ask someone which languages they speak, so you don't have necessarily a language in mind, you just want to know what languages they speak. In English, you would ask, what languages do you speak? In French, you would ask, tu parles quelle langue? And if you want to do it in a formal manner, you simply say, vous parlez quelle langue? What languages do you speak? You're trying to say, I am Canadian. So in French, we have male and female. So if you're trying to say, I am Canadian, but you're a male, you're going to say, je suis canadien. So, je suis canadien for a male. If you're female and you're trying to say, I am Canadian, you're going to say, je suis canadienne. So, je suis canadien for male, je suis canadienne for female. Now, polite expressions. So when you are asking for something or you're trying to convey appreciation, in English we say please. In French there's a formal way and an informal way again of doing it. So if you're trying to say please in an informal way in French, you're going to say s'il te plaît. S'il te plaît is please. If you're trying to say it in a formal manner, s'il te plaît becomes s'il vous plaît. So informal, s'il te plaît. Formal, s'il vous plaît. Now we are going to learn numbers 0 to 10. So let's begin by I'm going to say the number in English and then say the number in French. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. So now I'm going to count from 1 to 10 in English, and then I'll count from 1 to 10 in French. So in English, we say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In French, we say 0, 1, 2, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept, huit, neuf, et 10. So it's just 10. I say et 10 because when you're ending, you normally say a before the last number. Now we're going to practice. So I'm going to say something in French and you're going to translate it in English. So the first exercise. Bonjour, je m'appelle Stéphanie. Bonjour, je m'appelle Stéphanie. Amazing. Hello, my name is Stephanie is correct. Number 2. J'habite en Ontario, au Canada. J'habite en Ontario, au Canada. If you said, I live in Ontario, Canada, you're correct. Number 3, comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? This, in fact, is the formal way to ask, how are you? Number 4, je parle le français et l'anglais. Je parle le français et l'anglais. You're right. I speak French and English. Number 5, merci et toi. Merci et toi. If you said thank you and you are correct. Now the second part, I'm going to be giving you multiple choice questions. So I'll ask you the question and then you're going to have to tell me which one of the choices below that question are the proper way to say the statement in French. For example, what is your name? Now I'm going to give you 3 different sentences in French. You have to tell me which one means what is your name. So A, comment ça va? B, je suis Stéphanie. Or C, comment t'appelles-tu? The correct answer is C. What is your name means comment t'appelles-tu? Number 2, I live in Canada. Is it A, j'habite à Paris? B, j'habite au Canada? Or C, je suis au Japon? The correct answer is B, j'habite au Canada. I live in Canada. Number 3, how are you? Is it A, où habites-tu? B, comment ça va? Or C, je parle l'anglais. You guessed it. Comment ça va is how are you? The answer is B. Comment ça va? So just a quick summary. Now you know how to greet people in French and introduce yourself. You know how to use tu and vous correctly, which helps you look more professional and formal and respectful. You know how to ask and answer basic questions. You know how to count from 0 to 10, and you know how to use everyday expressions.